Alright, very close and intimate this time. This is my second recording for today. This morning I had what is possibly the most flow in a single recording that I've ever had, and the battery on the camera died and somehow the footage got corrupted, and so there was 5 gigabytes of recording on the card. I couldn't access it. That kind of sucks. I sometimes take these things as the universe being like, do you want to do this? Do you really want to do this? Even now, even when it's like the moment where I was feeling just so inspired, and yeah, I guess I'll try to recapture some of what was happening this morning. And I do believe that the source of flow is infinite, and so it is quite easy to think, well, I was so in flow then and I'm not going to be able to get back to that stage. But I think that's a limiting way of thinking, perhaps conditioning, and truly flow is just infinite. It's always there, always available. Anyway, so the series of thoughts that I was having this morning were related to, I'll start with some videos that I watched yesterday. I watched the video about Helmholtz resonators, which is essentially a hollow object. In this case, they were building bricks, and it's designed in a way where you can use it to deaden certain sound frequencies and make things quieter from a certain part of the frequency spectrum. So what they were trying to do is reduce the amount of traffic noise but still allow the bird sounds and nature sounds to exist, so it's not just an entire deadening of sound. And that's incredible. Like, I really love using the idea of using geometry and architecture, using geometry in architecture to create environments that are more suited to humans. The other video that I watched was a guy who had created a swimming pool with a reservoir that contained plants. So it was an organic swimming pool. He even drank water directly from the swimming pool. And so there's a regular old swimming pool, crystal clear water, and then there's a reservoir next to the swimming pool which had aquatic plants in it, and the relationship between the plant and the bacteria, and then the bacteria that would be in the water from people swimming in it and so on, it's being cycled through the system and being cleaned naturally by plants. And that's incredible. Like, what incredible technology for humans to unlock. I last year was wanting to start a business which I was calling the Bathhouse. It's going to have sauna and hot tubs and plunge pools and all that sort of thing. And a problem I couldn't solve was, like, how do you treat the water so that you don't have that yucky chlorine feeling when you get out. And yeah, I was sort of finding some solutions, but it just didn't really seem possible. And so it's so brilliant to me that this is the way. And I was even trying to figure out how to do this just in my own way. I knew you could, you have grey water systems where shower water and so on will come out of a house, and then you can run it through these aquatic plants, and then you can feed it to your garden. But usually people think you can't take that water and use it for anything other than gardening. And so it's incredible that this person has cycled it around in a way that he's drinking it. That's just incredible. And the thing that these are just dot points on this like larger picture that's being created for me, which is just how incredible all of these, as Charles Eisenstein calls it, a new and ancient story. So like these technologies aren't new really, they are ancient. They've been around forever, but they're new to our modern society. And actually two others that I find really powerful are syntropic agroforestry, which I've been experimenting with in the backyard, and it's the idea of like using the forces of nature to our advantage, rather than often in gardening it's like pulling out the weeds, fighting back nature, suppressing it, keeping it under control, where really it's like nature wants to do this thing, a particular thing, and if we understand what that is and work with it, there's less work for us and there's more abundance as a result. Another example is sort of permaculture thing, where in India people are digging pits and swales in a particular way that when it rains, the water gathers in these pits and soaks into the ground, and they are regenerating huge river systems that had almost entirely dried up. And the syntropic agroforestry stuff is like regenerating the Amazon rainforests. Like if that technology was taken and seriously put into action in regenerating the Amazon, like the rate at which people think that it's going to take generations to heal the planet, but it's going to take a couple of decades if we're serious about it. Like, people think that it takes lifetimes to create an abundant forest, and maybe they won't be old growth trees anytime soon, but you can generate a forest, a strong, resilient, abundant forest in 1 to 2 decades. And so if these are done at scale, it's incredible the amount of like healing of the planet that can be done. And I guess the thing that I find an idea that I had a few days ago is that nature is life has been on the job of figuring these things out. Like how does our reality work? How does this world work? And it's been doing that for millions, billions of years. And we're kind of like fighting back against that. Humans have been. Where now I'm really starting to see this shift where it's like, okay, life has been on this trajectory for a long time through evolution and I'm guessing some kind of trial and error, and this process where it's like, does this work? No. Does this work? Yes. And it's created all these incredibly sophisticated solutions. It really has provided us with so many tools in the form of like bacteria and ecological systems, and then through things like being able to mirror natural geometries to produce certain results. Like, all we need to do is just be like, oh wait, life's already figured all this shit out. How does it do it? How is nature doing it? And let's just do that. And I'm seeing that so much more. And what's so exciting about that is, 5 years ago, I remember just feeling like this society, this planet, it's like headed for the cliff at full speed, and I don't see any sign of it slowing down and stopping. Like, we're just headed straight over this cliff. And as time goes on, more and more, I'm like, wow, the world is changing. Something is happening. Like, I am so inspired and so hopeful. Like, we're gonna do this. We're gonna pull it off. Like, holy shit. Some incredible stuff is happening now. And that's really what I'm wanting to sort of capture in this YouTube channel. Like, I'm wanting to be a part of this. Wanting to be in service to this movement that I'm seeing. The pool video example that I mentioned, what I found also very inspiring about that is the person who created the full-scale swimming pool in their own backyard. He was referencing another YouTuber who, in that YouTuber's backyard on the other side of the world, had created all these little prototype systems and figured out the mechanics of how to make this circular filtration system work. And so one person just watched that guy's videos over and over until he figured out how to do it. And it's so interesting. Okay, I gotta pause for a second. Yeah, got called away on important business there. I guess the thing I really wanted to emphasize is how, I'm really wanting to contribute to this movement that I'm seeing emerging, and it's just so exciting, so invigorating for me, and I want to find the ways in which I can meaningfully contribute, and the skills that I have, the interests that I have. I think what is so exciting about that example, the guy in the UK or wherever he was who was coming up with the prototypes, like, from what I gathered, he's just doing something that he's interested in, and that's what I want for myself, and what I think everyone needs to be doing is what profoundly interests you? What are you so curious about that you don't need someone ordering you around telling you what to do. You just want to do that thing because there's nothing else you would rather be doing. And then this network of people saying oh, that guy's doing something that I find interesting. I'm gonna watch all his videos and learn from him, and then bring in my own little, I've got some other stuff over here that's tangentially related, and I'm going to combine the two of them and grow that sort of field in all these interesting ways. And it's just so exciting to me, this network of new ideas and technologies where regular people who are just interested are able to teach and learn from other people who are, and it's just this incredible synergy that, it's just so exciting to me. And I'm gonna leave it there, I think. Got a little taken out of the flow, but I think I did reach some of the flow of the initial recording from this morning. I definitely did. See, it's always available. Just gotta want it.